Ladies and gentlemen, your mind is the most powerful asset you own. Millionaires aren't born. They're built by decisions, discipline, and mindset. Shift 1, own your outcome. Stop blaming, start claiming. You are the creator, not the victim. Shift 2, raise your standards. What you tolerate defines your life. Shift 3, focus on growth, not comfort. Comfort kills dreams. Shift 4, see problems as fuel. Every challenge is a doorway. Shift 5, act with certainty. Wealth follows those who move with power. Shift your mind, shift your life. Mindset creates reality. This isn't just a motivational phrase. It's a principle that underlies every decision, action, and outcome in our lives. What we believe about ourselves, the world, and what's possible becomes the lens through which we see opportunity or limitation. It becomes the filter that determines whether we move forward or stay stuck. Our mindset doesn't just influence our reactions, it literally shapes our future. If you train your mind to focus on growth, abundance, and possibility, you start to make choices aligned with those beliefs. But if your mind is conditioned by scarcity, fear, or doubt, then even the greatest opportunity can look like a threat. The truth is, the external world reflects our internal world. Change your thinking and your reality begins to bend in that direction. Think about how millionaires operate. They don't wait for permission. They don't sit around hoping for luck. Their belief systems are built on the idea that they can create results, that they have control over their destiny, that failure is feedback, not defeat. This isn't arrogance, it's trained focus. They've conditioned their minds through repetition, action, and discipline. When challenges arise, they don't interpret them as reasons to quit. They see them as part of the process. That's a mindset shift. Where most people see walls, they see ladders. Where others see setbacks, they see setups for growth. This mental wiring is what separates successful people from everyone else. They're not necessarily smarter or luckier. They've just learned to think differently. Every result in your life, your finances, relationships, health, is a reflection of the thoughts you consistently think and the beliefs you hold about what's possible. If you believe money is evil, you'll unconsciously push it away. If you believe rich people are selfish or corrupt, your mind will create barriers to becoming one of them. On the other hand, if you believe money is a tool for freedom, service, and expansion, your mind will help you find ways to create more of it. The difference isn't external, it's mental. What we believe is what we experience. The mind always finds evidence for what it already believes to be true. This is why mindset must be trained. You can't just read one book or watch one video and expect to think like a millionaire. You must reprogram your thoughts daily, challenge your limitations, and condition your focus. The brain is a survival machine. Its default setting is not success, it's protection. That means unless you intentionally shift your mindset, your brain will keep pulling you back to safety. Safety might feel comfortable, but it rarely leads to success. The millionaire mindset isn't about playing it safe. It's about strategic risk, long-term thinking, and bold action. People with a powerful mindset understand that fear is part of the game, but they don't let it drive. They feel the fear and take action anyway. They don't wait for the perfect time or all the answers. They trust themselves enough to move forward, knowing they'll figure it out along the way. That's the power of a trained mind. It doesn't freeze in uncertainty, it thrives in it. Mindset also determines how we handle failure. Most people avoid failure like it's a plague. They tie it to their identity, thinking if I fail, I am a failure. But people with a millionaire mindset separate the event from their worth. They know failure is feedback. It's a mirror, not a verdict. They study it, learn from it, and use it to level up. This mindset shift creates resilience. It builds emotional toughness. It allows them to stay in the game longer than others, and success often goes to the person who simply refuses to quit. That tenacity comes from mindset, not just motivation. Motivation fades. Mindset stays when it's conditioned. Another powerful aspect of mindset is focus. What you focus on expands. If you constantly focus on what's missing, what's broken, or what could go wrong, you reinforce scarcity. But if you train your mind to focus on what you can control, what's working, and what's possible, you create momentum. Millionaires focus on vision. They're not obsessed with problems, they're obsessed with outcomes. They train their minds to stay clear even in chaos. They have clarity on their values and goals, which helps them filter out distractions. This isn't magic, it's training. Focus is a muscle. If you don't use it intentionally, it gets hijacked by everything around you. Fear, comparison, anxiety, noise. But when you own your focus, you own your future. Belief systems are another part of the mindset equation. Your beliefs are the rules you live by. Some of them you chose. Most of them were given to you by family, culture, school, past experiences. If you don't question them, you live by someone else's rules. Millionaire minds are built by design, not default. They question everything. Is this belief helping me or hurting me? Who taught me this, and did they have the life I want? They challenge scarcity thinking. They replace it with empowering truths. There's more than enough. Money flows to value. I can learn anything. These beliefs aren't affirmations, they're frameworks. They determine how a person shows up every day, how they lead, how they create. The environment you surround yourself with also reinforces your mindset. Millionaires don't just work on their inner game, they design their outer world to support it. They seek out mentors, read powerful books, invest in personal development, and guard their attention like it's gold. Because it is. If you constantly feed your mind with negativity, gossip, or mediocrity, your results will mirror that. But if you feed it with possibility, wisdom, and challenge, your results will transform. The mind is always being programmed by you or by someone else. Training it means taking ownership of that process. There's also a deep connection between mindset and identity. You will never outperform your self-image. If deep down you don't see yourself as worthy, capable, or enough, you'll sabotage success. Even if opportunities come, you won't let yourself hold on to them. That's why mindset work often goes deeper than motivation. It touches identity. Who you believe you are at your core drives everything. Millionaires think differently because they see themselves differently. They see themselves as creators, not consumers, as leaders, not followers, as valuable, not lacking. This identity drives their habits, their language, their energy. They walk into rooms with certainty because they've trained their minds to support who they've decided to become. Language plays a role too. How you talk to yourself determines how you feel and what you do. Millionaire minds use powerful language. Instead of saying, I can't, they say, how can I? Instead of saying, this is hard, they say, this is a challenge and I'm capable. They catch their disempowering thoughts and reframe them. This isn't fake positivity, it's mental conditioning. It's learning to direct your mind instead of letting it run wild. Because when your mind is left unchecked, it always goes to limitation. But when it's led with intention, it moves toward expansion. Mindset isn't about ignoring reality. It's about choosing a perspective that fuels action instead of fear. Every day you're either reinforcing a limited mindset or building a powerful one. There's no standing still. Your mind is always adapting, always shaping the way you experience life. The question is, are you directing it or drifting? The most successful people don't have perfect minds. They have trained minds. They've built patterns of thinking that serve their vision, and that's available to anyone willing to do the work. Powerful action drives wealth. This truth separates dreamers from doers and the successful from the stagnant. While mindset shapes the internal landscape, it's action that manifests results in the external world. You can have the most empowering thoughts, detailed plans, and abundant intentions, but without taking bold, decisive steps, those ideas stay locked in your imagination. Wealth is not built through wishing, it's built through motion. Every financial breakthrough, business empire, investment win, or income leap begins with a moment of courageous execution. It's not enough to know what to do. Wealth comes to those who move, who implement, who face uncertainty, and take action anyway. The people who build wealth at the highest levels are not necessarily the smartest, most educated, or most talented. They are the ones who act with confidence even when they don't have all the answers. They're the ones who decide, move, test, and adjust faster than everyone else. They don't wait for the perfect moment because they understand it doesn't exist. While others are analyzing, overthinking, and second-guessing, they are already in motion, already gaining feedback, already creating momentum. Action creates clarity. Once you move, you learn. Once you start, you build. Waiting delays everything. Action accelerates everything. In the world of wealth, speed matters. The faster you act on a good idea, the faster you find out what works. You don't need every step figured out to begin. That's a myth that keeps people broke. Millionaires and billionaires rarely had perfect blueprints when they started. What they had was a bias toward action. They believed in their vision, trusted their resourcefulness, and got into the game. They failed fast, learned faster, and improved with every move. This bias toward powerful action gave them an edge, because the more you act, the more opportunities you create. The more you do, the more experience you gain. The more you execute, the more results you see. Action is also the cure for fear. Most people think they need to overcome fear before they take action. But the truth is, action is what dissolves fear. You gain confidence by doing, not by thinking. Fear grows in silence, in hesitation, in delay. But the moment you step forward, your brain gets new data. It realizes that the thing you feared isn't as big as you imagined. And even if it is, you now have proof that you can handle it. Wealthy people don't wait to feel brave. They take action and build bravery along the way. They know that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's movement in the face of it. When you act powerfully, you trigger a different energy inside you. Your physiology shifts. Your state changes. You start seeing yourself differently. Each bold step reinforces the identity of someone who gets things done, who doesn't quit, who follows through. This identity becomes a foundation for wealth, because wealth isn't just about money, it's about character, it's about habits, it's about reputation. People who take powerful action consistently build trust with themselves and others. They become known for their reliability, their decisiveness, their results, and that trust turns into influence. Influence turns into opportunity. Opportunity turns into income. It all begins with action. Powerful action is not just about working harder, it's about moving with precision and purpose. It's about identifying high-leverage moves, the actions that create the biggest impact, and doing them relentlessly. Wealthy people don't waste energy on low-value tasks. They delegate, automate, or eliminate what doesn't move the needle. They focus on actions that generate income, expand networks, build skills, or create assets. They understand the power of leverage. One smart action, executed at the right time, can produce exponential returns. That's why they move with urgency.
Every day is seen as a chance to create value, to serve, to solve problems, to grow. There's a rhythm to powerful action. It requires discipline, consistency, the kind of daily commitment that compounds over time. Wealthy people often repeat the same core actions over and over: making offers, closing deals, tracking finances, studying markets, connecting with mentors, building systems. These actions might not be glamorous, but they are effective. They understand that wealth is not built in a single moment. It's built through stacking smart decisions, day after day, even when motivation fades. Powerful action doesn't depend on emotion. It's fueled by vision, anchored by commitment, and executed with focus. Another key element is adaptability. Powerful action is not rigid, it's responsive. The wealthy are constantly testing, iterating, evolving. They're not afraid to pivot if something isn't working. They don't let ego trap them in old decisions. They are data-driven, feedback-hungry, and willing to shift course if it serves their mission. Action is their laboratory. They experiment with strategies, partnerships, markets, and models. When something fails, they don't stop, they shift. That flexibility makes their action even more powerful. They are not married to methods, they are loyal to outcomes. They will do whatever it takes to achieve the result. Belief fuels action, and action reinforces belief. It's a loop. When you believe something is possible, you act with more power. When you act with more power, you get better results. Better results reinforce your belief. This cycle builds momentum. Wealthy individuals understand how to initiate and sustain this cycle. They don't wait for external validation. They generate internal certainty and act from that place. Every powerful action they take is a vote for their future, a vote for abundance, a vote for mastery. And the more votes they cast, the more inevitable their success becomes. Execution beats intention. Ideas without action are just mental clutter. The marketplace rewards those who do, not those who talk about doing. Wealthy people take their ideas seriously enough to act on them immediately. They don't need external permission. They don't wait for applause. They move. Whether it's launching a product, making a phone call, writing a proposal, or learning a new skill, they close the gap between idea and execution. That gap is where most people lose. That delay is where dreams die. But powerful action bridges that gap. It turns vision into reality, thought into result, and potential into performance. Taking powerful action also attracts momentum and magnetism. When you're in motion, you become more visible, more valuable, more in demand. People notice your energy, your commitment, your drive. Opportunities that never showed up before start appearing. It's not coincidence, it's consequence. Action creates signals. It tells the world you're serious. It invites collaboration. It earns respect. Wealthy people don't wait to be chosen. They choose themselves through action. They make themselves impossible to ignore by showing up with intensity and follow through. And that presence alone opens doors. Even when mistakes are made, action wins. You can recover from a wrong move. You can adjust a strategy. You can learn a new skill. But you can't benefit from action you never took. Inaction is the biggest cost. It kills progress, momentum, and confidence. The wealthy are not afraid to be wrong. They understand that imperfection is part of the process. They'd rather move forward and course correct than stay frozen trying to get it perfect. Because progress always beats perfection, and wealth rewards those who move. There is also a spiritual aspect to powerful action. It aligns your internal world with your external behavior. When you act on your vision, you demonstrate faith. Faith in your ability, faith in your mission, faith in your future. That alignment creates integrity, and integrity generates power. You begin to trust yourself more deeply. You know that when you say you'll do something, you will. That trust builds an internal foundation strong enough to weather any storm. You become unstoppable, not because you have all the answers, but because you keep moving forward no matter what. That forward motion, repeated and refined, becomes your engine for wealth. When you commit to powerful action, you separate yourself from the masses. You stop waiting and start creating. Wealth doesn't respond to hesitation, it responds to execution. The more boldly and consistently you act, the more momentum you build, the more clarity you gain, and the more wealth you attract. Every step you take in the direction of your vision compounds. Powerful action is the bridge between who you are and who you're meant to become.